Story time 7 and 8. When I first started high school, I had an interesting story happen. I I had worked out all summer because I had decided that since my braces came off in 8th grade, I was actually going to look absolutely gorgeous when I went into ninth grade for high school. The first couple of days, I decided that I was not going to even talk to anyone. I know that's such a shock. So I read manga during my lunch breaks. Didn't speak to anyone because manga, I just read. That was what I was going to be doing. Until, like, a group of girls actually walked up to me. Now, let me give you some backstory. I would sit outside in the commons area during lunch, and I saw this really good looking guy, and I would just awkwardly stare at this poor man. I didn't realize I was doing it, but well, this group of girls. She goes, "Excuse me, why are you staring at my boyfriend?" And I like promptly close my book and go, "Oh, excuse me, let me fix that." And I get up and walk over to the guy, and I go, "Excuse me, I know you don't know who I am. My name's April, and I know that I've been staring at you. I am so sorry for awkwardly staring at you. But I wanted to let you know that you're very handsome. Okay, bye." In the most awkward fashion possible. In the process of this, the group of girls literally got pissed and they were that's their face expression from the distance. And I just walk away because I told the guy he was hot. Done. Well, I also have another story that's really near and dear to my heart. My senior year, I had to transfer to a whole new school. I went to two elementary schools, two middle schools, and two high schools. Fuck. You know? All the friends that I made in my first school, I had to leave them behind because my mom got a new job. I'm not going to go into what made me transfer to another school because that's another story. My first day of school, I had decided I'm going to make a statement when I come to school. I'm going to dye about that much of my hair blue. Just that whole strip. I was being rebellious, wild, let me tell you. Well, those teachers oftentimes, when you live in a very podunk area and you dye your hair and not normal color, you're going to turn some heads. So, my first week of senior year high school at a whole new high school, I had two teachers walk up to me and say, "Excuse me, you can't have your hair that color." And I go, "What? What do you mean?" And they said, "If you don't remove it immediately, we're going to send you to in house and maybe even outhouse suspension." And then I went, "Oh, me, oh, my. You'd send me for suspension?" I was like, "So, how do I take this out? I want you to tell me how I'm going to take that out. Permanent hair dye." And they went, "I don't know, but you're going to figure it out." And I went, "Let me see." And I proceed to do the most smart ass thing, which was, "Oh, gee, I guess it's still there." My smart ass self. There was another kid, a guy. He had rainbow hair, and it was the coolest shit ever. He's freaking out because he can't get in trouble because his parents will kill him. He proceeds to wash his hair over 17 times to try to get that hair dye out. And I was like, don't worry, they can't do nothing. So I took the school handbook, highlighted where it said that as long as your hair is not a distraction to your teachers, then you're allowed to have your hair. And I had every teacher that was mine. I had 7 different teachers to tell me, will sign my little school handbook, that my hair was indeed not distracting their teaching or my other classmates' learning process. This took 2 days to do this. So, well, the rest of the day of that day, and then before lunch, I got the rest of the teachers to sign my thing. But while I was at home, I also printed out a packet like this big, 2 packets. Yes, I know I'm wasteful with paper, but 2008. That was the only way that was going to happen. I printed out 2 big packets of paper of student rights. And yes, for those who are not aware, you did have student rights. And it was a lot. So what I did was I printed out 2 big packets. My mom also said that I should probably print out one for the principal just in case too. So I did that too. So I think it was 3 packets altogether. And I highlighted each passage to where that it said that in the United States of America, you can wear what you want. You can have your hair the way you want, as long as you were academically sound. So, for those who did not know that, I'm sorry that you didn't know that, but I digress. So, lunchtime, my friend is shaking, like he is freaking out that he's going to get suspended. I was like, don't worry, I got this. So those teachers walk up to me. They're not even my teachers or lunchroom monitors. They walk up to me and say, I see that you still have that color in your hair, and so does your friend. And I was like, we do. And they said, well, I guess you're going to have to go to in-house. I was like, before you do that, and I go into my bag and hand them each a packet and said, did you know that you are illegally telling me that my hair is a distraction? And they go, what? I was like, why, yes, indeed. And by law, I won't sue the school. No, I will sue you and you individually for encroaching on my rights as a student. And they went, you don't have student rights. There's no such thing. And they start freaking out. And I was like, oh, you didn't know? Well, I highlighted in those packets what all you need to know so that you won't do this to another person. And I grabbed my friend and said, come on, we're late to class. It's time for us to go to class. And we have to have our education. And you're encroaching on our learning experience. And I walk away with my friend. Yes. Because of those teachers, I did a lot of smart ass things my senior year. I was going to be quiet. I was not going to bother anyone. No, no. For the rest of that school year, it was probably one of my favorite school years because I questioned every single thing everyone said. And even at one point, my favorite thing I've ever said to those teachers were, for people who are supposed to be training us to be adults, you're surely not acting and giving us any reason to be an adult. You're actually glorified babysitters, indeed, is what I said. A lot of teachers were not happy, and my senior year was also the last year for a lot of my teachers. They said, screw it, no more of this. And a little gem just for an extra tidbit. Me and my friends had over I think it was close to 200, 250 hacky sacks taken by the campus police people. They couldn't think of anything else why we couldn't have our hacky sacks. But these hacky sacks range from actual hacky sacks to a block of wood. And yes, that was a dumb thing to do, and we about knocked one of our friends out doing hacky sack with a block of wood. I thought something lighthearted to, for everyone because that's a story that's dear to my heart. And I want everyone to remember something from this. Knowing your rights anywhere you go is probably the best thing in the whole wide world. Knowing what the meaning of certain things are so that people don't manipulate the fact that you're ignorant to these things is probably the best thing. And never just go with the flow on things because this is why America is the way it is right now. We're supposed to be free to do a lot of things, and yet we seem to be content with people who don't want to see us shine, our true selves. They would rather us be carbon copies of everyone else. Stay tuned for more. Bye.